Well, welcome back, everybody. We are now moving on to what nobody understands about Pablo of SB19. I love these. I truly think that these little documentaries that we've been getting from Casual Chuck are so good. So let's hop right into it because I'm honestly excited. Oh, hold on. I need to do one thing. Almost forgot.
It's okay to make mistakes, but don't.
Sino ang pinakamatagal mag-ayos?
Ay! Let's go! Hindi ko po hindi yun ako. I did unspeakable things talaga.
What?
Everybody would love a taste of Pablo's life, having his own family business and the utmost respect from his co-members and fans. Pablo's life seems perfect, yet the truth is completely different. Not too long ago, he has been put in the shadows even though his role with SB19 is supposed to be significant. There were moments that his work wasn't even acknowledged. He is also seen as a member who has the strongest personality, which most people don't understand. But I'm telling you, Pablo's story is a revelation because it proves otherwise, and you're about to hear it. So sit back and enjoy, because it's going to be a heck of a ride.
Ah, jeez. This is going to be
Giancarlo
crazy.
Nase was born and raised in Imus, Cavite. He's the second-born child along with two sisters and two brothers. Their mom took care of them while their dad provided for them financially from overseas. Pablo grew up as a shy kid who tends to space out, and because of that, he sometimes wandered off of their pack when they were outside. There was a time when their family was in the mall and he suddenly went missing. They panicked for a little bit, only to find him urinating on a plant in the corner. There was also another time when he fell into the canal. Pablo's childhood was never boring because he was surrounded by a loving family. As a teenager, Pablo was very active in sports. In fact, he made it to his high school's varsity basketball team playing the point guard position.
Nice.
Behind the scenes, his passion for music got ignited when he found the hip-hop artists like Eminem, Glock 9, G-Dragon, Looney, and NF. This is when he started writing songs in secret as an outlet for his emotions. He kept the dream of performing to himself because of his shy attitude. Most families in the Philippines believe that going overseas will set you up for life, and Pablo's family wasn't a stranger to that. He initially took up accountancy in college because the job was in demand abroad, but he immediately regretted it and felt that the course wasn't for him. He loved writing songs and wanted to get better at it, so he decided to shift his course to a Bachelor of Arts in English. This is when he started learning about poetry and different types of literature, which definitely played a big role in the future. In his senior year, his younger siblings started going to college as well, and their family's income was no longer enough to keep them all in school. So he started working as a call center agent at night while studying in the morning. He worked a full 9-hour shift and also full-time in school. Honestly, I couldn't imagine how he survived all that, but he did. He got his bachelor's degree in English, and according to some sources, if only he wasn't a shifter, he would have graduated cum laude.
Wow.
He's a smart dude for sure, and also a responsible one. He was so responsible that after graduating, he immediately went to work as a data analyst for a real estate company to help provide for his family. It was a stressful job, but he was able to cope by watching his favorite K-dramas. From then on, everything was smooth sailing. Until the big what if started bothering him.
The what if, it's
Deep inside,
brutal.
he had this unfinished business of making music. So one day, he decided to follow his passion while keeping his full-time job. He started joining rap battles and competitions as a soloist.
Oh.
He initially wanted to use Seismic as a screen name, which has a double entendre for seismic. But he never managed to share it because he is a shy dude, so he always ended up telling his real name instead. To this day, that screen name remained to be in Pablo's username on his social media accounts.
Oh, interesting.
If you want to know more about the meaning of it, check out the video I made about it. Link in the description. You can also join the highest tier membership if you want to support me and also be credited as one of the executive producers. Going back, Pablo kept competing despite not winning until one fateful night when Miss Hongganda of Show BT found him in a contest.
Interesting.
She offered to train him as a solo artist but ended up becoming the leader of the boy group that would end up rewriting Filipino music history.
Is that so wild?
They underwent a Korean training style that is notorious for pushing trainees.
Now, let's think about this for just a quick second. I'm not going to take up too much time. This group is putting Filipino music on the map. And we are witnessing that real time. We are witnessing actual musical history. It's wild.
To their absolute limits. Pablo reached a point that it became too difficult for him that he had to choose between his job and the training. Realizing that he was only half step in, he decided to go all in by quitting his job. He told his mom about it, and as expected, his decision was questioned. But she didn't stop him from chasing his dreams. With his job gone comes no income. Life became so hard for Pablo that he had to skip meals and sleep in their camp just to extend his remaining money for commuting back home every few days because his home was miles away.
Wow.
In order to survive, he performed in different Korean events with his group called PHP, which was also composed of other Show BT trainees. This went on for 3 years. Fast forward to 2018, SB19 was formed and they debuted with a song called Tila Luha, which was written by none other than Pablo. This was a song that was supposed to capture the hearts of the Filipino people, but sadly, barely anyone cared about it. The same thing happened to their second single, Go Up. This was supposed to be the time when he could tell his parents that he has finally made it, but instead, it became the reason why he started to question himself. This was a major blow to his confidence, so he shut himself off from the public and did some quote-unquote unspeakable things. If it wasn't for George and Pablo's faith in God, he wouldn't be here today. This was also around the time when he wrote the song La Luna, which exactly described the situation he was in. It's so wild knowing that his recent song actually came from several years back, and there's no telling how many he's already done because he describes himself as someone who always writes music. When the Go Up dance practice video was uploaded, their popularity snowballed. A song was released called Alab, which was also written by him, but the fans noticed that something was wrong. Pablo's name was nowhere to be found in the credits, and when the movie Game Boys was released, SB19's Hanggang sa Huli was the original soundtrack, and it happened again. Twitter fans went ballistic, and there was even a movement that encouraged everyone to mass email Show BT just to give him the credit he deserved. Thankfully, it was heard. If it wasn't for 18, maybe Pablo wouldn't have gotten the music royalties he has now. So what exactly is it that people don't understand about Pablo? Most people would say it's his sassy attitude, but I beg to disagree. We learned in his story that he's arguably the most introverted person in this group, and STELL perfectly described it in this clip.
Nung una, ang weird niya po, nagsasalita mag-isa, parang bigla na lang siya nagagano. Isang tabi po, nakatayo siya sa gilid. Tapos may training kami, tapos biglang gagano. Tapos biglang gagano siya. Gagano po siya sa gilid. Sabi ko, anong ginagawa na? Nagre-ritual ba ito sa gilid?
Some fans and even him also think that he's the worst dancer among them, but his co-members think otherwise.
I'm really bad at memorizing steps. Yeah, I'm really bad. So I take extra time.
But you're a good
practicing.
dancer.
Really?
Yeah.
He doesn't even tell us that he can backflip.
Can't even backflip? Jeez.
He's also a gamer. He even used his favorite video game character as an inspiration for one of his songs. Talk about a game changer. Most people think he's a poet,
I love The
but he
Witcher.
describes himself more as a bard who tells his stories through his music. Music that transcends generations and is backed up by recognition.
Yeah.
The winner of this season of the Juki Music Awards is Pablo. Congratulations.
Wow, Pablo.
The winner of the Composer of the Year award goes to John Paulo Nasser. Congratulations.
I'm always curious
He
why they
can
changed their
sing,
names.
he can rap, he can shoot, he can pop, he can play, he can snap, he can flip, and he can't stop. Pablo's mind is a race, and he's always 5 steps ahead of us. He does what he does because he strives for perfection, which brings us to the most misunderstood thing about him, his reputation as a genius. Sometimes it makes me wonder, why does Pablo keep on asking this question?
Why us? Why are we here right now?
The answer for me is the lesson I learned from his story. I learned that the person performs better when there's no safety net. He had no plan B. Pablo gave up everything and decided.
That is a very, very wise saying. You learn better when there's no safety steps. Is that what it was? I want to go back to that.
Us, why are we here right now?
The answer for me is the lesson I learned from his story. I learned that the person performs better when there's no safety net.
A person performs better when there's no safety net. That is very key.
He had no plan B. Pablo gave up everything and decided to go all in by focusing on getting better at his craft. He believed that failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So he made the world his library to become the best version of himself and became the guy who worked while others slept, the guy who learned while others partied, the guy who led while others followed, the guy who lived like others only dreamed of. A leader has the capacity to translate vision into reality. And that's the answer to Pablo's why.
Gotta go for the full. Gotta get those stats. I think that particular moment right here, I think just brings up so much.
Wonder, why does Pablo keep on asking this question?
Why us? Why are we here right now?
The answer for me is the lesson I learned from his story. I learned that the person performs better when there's no safety net. He had no plan B. Pablo gave up everything and decided to go all in by focusing on getting better at his craft.
I think that it's so interesting because I think and I've actually said this a lot to a lot of my friends, when it comes to when you move up in life, when you're moving forward in life, there will come a point where you realize that you're holding on to basically two lives. You're holding on to the side here of which you have been living and where you need to go. And there will come a point where it will start to get to the point where those two will start to separate and it'll start to deviate. And you will have to make that jump, that it's kind of that leap of faith, and go full in on it, because otherwise you're going to get torn in half. There comes a part where even if it will be hard, you have to make that jump to the next level. And that's what this story is about. And I find it so interesting when he's like, why me? Why us? Why are we here? I don't really hold like a crazy belief about most of this happening to some, like most people. But I think there are certain people that are on this, planet, in this earth, to perpetuate forward propel something forward. And why SB19? Because I think that was the actual intent behind the group, whether they know it or not. Call it destiny, call it whatever you want. But I think, to me, this is one of those cases where there's no coincidence. This was supposed to happen. And now it's opened up. And I mean, even here on this channel, I mean, who else? Beanie, and we've also had G22. And I do need to get to a couple other groups, I know. But that doesn't happen when it comes to, without someone being able to blaze the trail. And that's what SB19 is meant to do. That is not a coincidence to me. I think that's like the actual facts. And I think that's kind of crazy, because I think you'll just notice that there's always people throughout time that do something like that. Obviously, we do a lot of stuff on this channel about K-pop. And I think that you can say that was the same thing about, Big Bang, or, G-Dragon and BTS. It takes people to keep placing these things for someone to just be able to kick the door wide open. And I think, in a sense, they are kind of doing kind of like what BTS and Big Bang are doing for K-pop, where they had to kind of be the first to start off and kick it open, and allow for that flow of everybody else to follow in their footsteps. And I think that's what's kind of the reason why. But again, like I said, the cool thing is that we get to see this real time, and there's a lot of fantastic artists. And again, I do know I need to go down the rabbit hole a little bit more in the world of P-pop. But I think the truth of the matter is that this would have never happened even on this channel without SB19. And I think that that's important to understand and recognize that. So the truth of the matter is that this needed to happen, and it was going to happen. They're just the ones that were tasked with that. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. We'll discuss this down in the comments below. Thank you.